Hello everyone, this is Raman, and today we will talk about property access. So I will say this is the part 2 for the reference type. So property access means how do you access the property of an object. Say an example, I have an empty array. So if you want to create an empty array, you simply say a variable equals to square bracket open and close. Okay. Now array has some methods. So one of that method is push array dot push method. So where I can push a value into the an array. Push means insert. So I'm just adding a value 1 2. And if you want to print it, so we can put document dot write. As we see array which is on index 0, what is the value? So if I print it, it will give me the 12 value. Okay. And same way, this is the one way, means when you are creating an array and you are pushing the value. This push method you can use in this way as well. So I'm using array and I'm putting push. So this will be the method name. And next, what value I want to. So I'm now passing 1 2 3. So in this, what I'm doing for array, this variable call the push method and the parameter value is 1 2 3. So it will similar to this approach. Now I'm printing it, so it will give you the same output. This kind of approach basically is used when you are using some dynamic thing. Dynamic thing in the case, if I say where, I will take one variable called method, and in this method I'm passing the method name. Now instead of this, I can call the method. So this is the same thing. Now this is kind of a dynamically we are adding the method name and we are accessing the property of 0th index now. So it results the same thing. So this is the one thing where we see how to access the element or how to access the properties, right? The other way is that means if you want to identify something which is related to reference type. Say an example, you want to identify whether it is an array, whether it is an object. So every reference type will be an object first of all, and but there are some subtypes, like if we want to see whether it is an array, whether it is a function. So these things we can achieve with the help of instance of operator. So next is instance of operator. So this operator, what it does, it basically applied on the reference type or custom types, where we can identify whether it is reference type or not. So I will show you with the example. Say an example, I have taken one variable of array type, which is empty. I am taking one object, which is empty. So if you want to create empty object, you can create with the curly braces open and close. And I am creating one function, and I'm saying call it reflect, passing a value and just putting return value. Okay, so now I have three items. One is item, array type, object, and function. Now if I want to print something, document dot write items instance of array, so it should return true because item is type of reference type of array. Okay, same thing if I say document dot write items, oh sorry, it is item not items, item instance of object, right? It also returned true because all the reference types are object only. Okay, now second variable I have created object. So if I write the same thing for, let me copy paste this. Let me copy paste one. So now we will check about the object. Object is type of array false. So this should return false. Object is type of object true. And next is our function. Function is type of array false because it's a type of function, right? And reflect is an object true because it's a reference type. And we will write one more, document dot write reflect instance of function, so it should return true. So my third statement and my fifth statement should be false and rest of the statement should be true. Let me run it. Okay, I did not put true. Let me put it BR so that it will be. So let me copy paste this. And to make it more clear, what I will do, I will put this as a string as well. So that in output window we can see what we are doing. Okay, so I have added for all this. Let me run it now. Oh, there's something wrong. Okay, so I made some changes because the plus symbol was taking item plus this value uh, as a one value, and it was checking whether it is an array or not. So what I did, uh, I just write one more document.write statement along with this. So now let us see what is the output. So here, okay, there is something wrong or spelling is wrong. Okay, so here, meanwhile, we can see or we can first check that. Document. Oh, here it is wrong. Okay, so let us run it now. So here you can see item is of array type, true. Item is object type, yes. Object is array, false. Object is object type, true. Reflect is, which is a function, array type, false. It is object type, true. It is function type, true. So with the help of this, now we can we can use the instance of whenever we need in our application. Okay. Now next is our primitive wrapper types. So this is the last topic which we are discussing about the reference type as of now. So next is our primitive wrapper type. So what is primitive wrapper types? These are the reference types which are created behind the scene. Means, for example, whenever you are creating any primitive data type like string, boolean, or number. Okay, so what is happening behind the scene? So behind the scene there is a primitive wrapper. So let me show it with an example. Say an example, I am saying where name equals to Raman. Okay, and now next what I'm doing, I'm just taking uh, where first character equals to, and I'm saying name dot caret 0. I want to take the first character, and if I will print, so I will say document dot write and first character. So it will print capital R. Right? Now what is happening behind the scene? What is happening? So if you remember in the reference type we were discussing that we take an object dot method or property, we can access it. So it is the similar way. It is a primitive data type variable which is string, and I'm saying dot caret. It means something which is going related to reference type here, and that is true. Behind the scene, what is happening for this statement? We are creating what is JavaScript engine is doing. It is creating your name variable equals to Raman, and then creating one temporary variable which is of string type, and this temporary variable is assigned with the value which is passing we want to pass. So here name. Now this temporary variable is created by the JavaScript engine. Okay. Now if we want to see where first character, when this statement get executed, for this statement the equivalent code behind the scene, this is happening, and for this statement first char, what it is doing, temp dot caret 0. Okay, and once it is finished, then it is doing temp equals to null. And if we want to print document dot write first char, it gives me the exactly same result as this was giving. So let me comment this and let me run now. So it should return capital R. Okay, similar way. So this is the equivalent code which is running behind the scene. And if you see, we are using new, we are using string. So string is a primitive data type. So this concept is called primitive wrapper types. Okay. Now here it comes into your mind that if we are using name as a reference type, then we can define the properties or methods of that, but that is not true. Why? As I am saying, when you are writing this statement, at this time, this particular statement is executing. Okay, my name is assigned to a temporary variable. Okay, now let me show you with one example. So mm, let me comment this. Okay, now what I'm doing, I want to do, I'm saying name dot last name equals to, I'm just writing share. Okay, if I want to print name dot last, see that IntelliSense is not showing first of all, and second it is undefined because it is a primitive types, and as soon as this is done, after that, that value is null. That value is null. Which value is null? Temporary value is null. And when you are accessing a property dot last name equals to Sharma, so it is doing nothing. Okay. So let me show you. First, let us see the output of this. It should be undefined. Okay. So this is coming as undefined. Now let us see what is happening behind the scene. Behind the scene, first of all, where name is created, right? And then temp string name is created, and then we are saying temp dot, because name is assigned here, temp dot last name equals to Sharma. Okay, and after that, that's it. After that, temp equals to null, because it is assigned null. After that, after finishes its operation, it is assigning null. So if it is null, and now it is not pointing to, now it is not pointing to any object. So if we want to print document dot write, and if I want to print temp dot last name, it will be 0. It will be undefined, sorry. So let me comment this. So this is happening behind the scene. So if I run it, it should be undefined. Okay, last name is undefined or reference. So that is why it is not able to print. So that is what happening behind the scene. And whatever is happening with the primitive types, so the properties which we are assigning here, like last name, this is disappearing. How it is disappearing? Because we are putting temp equals, we are not putting, JavaScript engine is doing that. And immediately after that, when we are going to, means here up to here it is fine, and after that it assigns the value, it turns that object to the null, and then you are trying to print this value, it says it's undefined. So this is this way the primitive wrappers work. Now same way, uh, if we use the instance name, so say an example what I'm trying to say, we have a variable called name equals to Raman. Okay, and as I told you, instance of is used for custom type or reference type. If it is a reference type, If name is reference type, it should return true for the string. So let me show you here where I'm taking one count equals to 10, where I'm taking one more variable found equals to false, or I will put it as true. Okay. Now if I want to print document dot write name instance of string. So if it is really instance of string, it should return true. So let us see what it is printing. It is printing false because name is not a custom type or reference type. Name is a primitive data type. Okay. But behind the scene, it is referencing and it is turning to the null at the end of the statement. So same way, if we want to print the other, like count, if you want to see, I'm saying count is instance of number, then it should return false. Same way, found is the instance of boolean. So in all the cases we will get false. 3 false will be printed. So the reason, because in the end temp object is destroyed. It is not pointing to anything. Okay. And if I want to declare a variable like this, we can declare name and in different way also. So we can say where name equals to new string, and I'm passing Raman. Okay. And I'm saying where count equals to new number, and I'm passing a value. And same way where found equals to new boolean, and I'm passing a value true. Okay. Now instance of is used for the uh, reference type, but type of we can use for the uh, primitive types. So if I say, if I want to find the type of name, so I will use document dot write type of uh, type of our name. So it should return as an object, not string. Okay. Same way, if you want to see the type of count, it will be an object. And same way we will find for the found as well. Okay. So this is the primitive types. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.